Hello, hello. Welcome to another episode of Read It or Don't.
Or don't.
Or don't, whatever.
Do you
I don't know,
realize
man.
that every time we open a podcast, it's gonna be some stupid fuck around about read it or don't.
Or don't.
We're gonna.
I don't. You want to read it? Great. You don't? I don't care. We're just here to tell you the books that we love, give you some background in being an author and writing books and doing all this crazy shit.
Right.
And if you want to read the books, which I mean, I actually think you and I have very good luck in reading really good fucking books.
And we only have good books, so ew.
Like, there has rarely been a book where I've been recently. I can think of one, which I know you know which one. Don't want to say that one. Oh, I'm sorry. Is there any other book that I've stopped recently? No, there's one that I semi-stopped. I don't DNF very often, so I feel like you know when I do, that's really bad.
Yeah, I don't either.
I just don't. I will only talk about books I've DNF'd if they're a really famous author, because I'm not trying to ruin someone's fucking life here. Not saying that I could. I just don't want to.
But also, I don't know, it's hurtful.
It's so hurtful. It's mean.
It is.
I'm sorry, I don't want to keep laughing. It's just funny.
Fine, it's fine. You know what? It's fine.
Okay. Today. Today. What we're talking about today, guys, is actually something that I think that everyone is going to find really interesting, because I feel like I've got questions like this and I don't even write books, so I can only imagine how many questions you've got.
Lots of questions.
Yeah. So the topic is, what is like the process in writing a book? And by writing a book, I don't mean like, okay, first you write it, then you have to go on Ingram, and then we're not talking about ISBNs and shit like that. We're talking about like literally the mapping out and the planning of a book or of a series, which I obviously haven't done.
I mean, you kind of have done. You participated.
I have helped a couple times. Honestly, me giving you any idea and you being like, wait, that's a good idea. I'm like, oh my God.
They're like, wait, that's my idea. You know what? It helps, because then you're going to be like, hey, everyone, this is the best book ever. And I'm going to be like, of course it is.
Duh. I mean, but genuinely, thank God, Midnight's actually is really fucking good. That and His to Erase, because if
that would
not,
have been embarrassing.
I mean, I straight up told you, I was like, I'll read it, but if I don't like it, I'm gonna tell you.
Okay, but would you literally be like, I love you, but this is not good?
Yes. Yeah.
Goodness.
I actually would. I'll be honest, that would probably be like the hardest thing that I ever do in my life, is be like, hey, I love you, but I don't like what you wrote. Because writing is art. Art is subjective, and art is also very personal.
Yeah.
Very personal. So I would not want to hurt your feelings, but with our friendship and our relationship, I think it would sound better coming from me than from a stranger.
Oh, yeah. And honestly, if you were like, hey, look, this book isn't great, I would have been like, okay, well, I need to go fix it and redo it.
Yeah, I would have easily been like, here are the things that are like bad. Like these need to change. And there were maybe some things where I was like, it's not bad. It's just like, this is really slow. Or I think I said it in, was it maybe His to Erase?
Yeah, it was. Yes.
Yeah, that I was like, hey, like this thing or da-da. And you were like, yeah, you know what? You're right. Yeah.
It's interestingly enough, when people have said stuff, or when you have said stuff, or anything, like, it's already been in the back of my mind. So when someone else says it, I'm all, you know what? I already clocked it and did nothing about it, because I didn't think it was that big of a deal, but it is.
But if someone else is clocking it, can I tell you something I'm weirdly bothered about that you don't know this, but I said something about it on TikTok today, and I don't know why I'm so bothered, but I am.
Okay, go.
I didn't realize that when you did like alpha readers, as you were writing His to Erase, people were complaining about the Google Doc.
Here's the thing. It's fine. I get it. I just thought other authors did other things, and I did a Google Doc because that's what I wrote it on. And I know people can leave comments and it can be like interactive, but there was a lot of comments that were like, hey, do you have something else? Because every time I log on, I have to go find my spot. Or, hey, like, it doesn't save my spot. Or, I don't know why I just grabbed the mic.
Well, here's the deal, because alpha is as it's being read, beta is once it's basically done, and arc is you just get like a pre-copy of everything.
Oh yeah, I didn't know that.
So, but that's why, like, I've been an alpha reader, I've been a beta reader, and I've also had ARC copies. And the person that I was an alpha reader for is fucking Luna Pierce. Like, we are not talking, this is a small time. Luna Pierce is a fucking gangster. She's like one of the OGs of dark fucking romance. She used Google Docs. So I don't know why.
So I thought I was just doing like the baby version because I didn't know. Like, I literally know other authors that are like, oh no, you don't use Google Docs, like you use da 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 da. And I was like, yeah, I'm gonna use Google Docs because it's like idiot proof, Phil. Yeah.
Luna Pierce used Google Docs.
Well, you know what? Luna's doing it. I'm doing it. That's where
I don't know why that irked me, given I don't know the context in which it was said. I don't know.
No, they were all super nice.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm still bothered by that though. I don't know why I'm so bugged by it. That's why when you were like, oh, people have complained, and I was like, what do you mean that people have complained? Like, I'm so sorry. Like, I guess for me, it's like you have the opportunity to read a book that isn't even out yet, and you get to be, and I'm not saying that being, you know what, I can speak from my experience. Yeah. I was like honored that Luna Pierce asked me to be an alpha reader. Like, genuinely, I was like, me? I was honored. Yeah. So I could not imagine going into it and being like, oh, thanks for like letting me read this early as you're writing it. But like, do you have like a different program? Because I don't like it. Okay, but do you like the book? Yeah. We're here to talk about the book, not the platform. I don't know. That just sat poorly with me, but you also know me. Random things sit very poorly with me, so it's fine.
I feel that. And honestly, like, in my, like, when I said that to them, I was like, look, I don't know how else to send it to you. And they're like, okay, well, I just like won't be able to finish it. And I'm like, that's okay.
Sorry. Okay, now I have to keep going on that. Real quick. They wouldn't finish because it was a Google Doc?
Yeah. So I think like my biggest, I got this from a couple people, so it's not like it was just like one person, and like I said, they were all super nice about it, but it was like, hey, like every time I log in, it brings me to the beginning, and I have to find my spot, and I'm like, yeah, that's what I have to do writing it also.
Yeah, but I hear that and I'm like, yeah, that's a Google Doc.
Yeah, and then they wanted to like read it not on their computer, and I don't know because I've never tried to use a Google Doc on literally anything else, and so they were like, I can't read it on my Kindle, so I went out of my way for a couple people to like download it as a PDF and send it to them so they could read it on a Kindle, and I don't know if it worked or didn't work, but I was like, I don't know how to help you. So
I don't like that. That bothers me. I think that was very kind of you, but like that's not the entire point of being an alpha or a beta reader is to be able to give feedback on this book. Like, you have the privilege of reading a book that isn't even published early, and all we ask for is feedback. Yeah. And I can say that as someone who has been an alpha, beta, and ARC reader. Like, that's just what you do. Yeah. You have to accept the fact that you're gonna have to do that. Like, no, I cannot send you a Kindle version copy. If you want to make one yourself, you can make it. I did that with Midnights.
Yeah, so did Joe. Like, I can say that because she literally said that this morning. She was like, oh yeah, I just downloaded it and put it on my Kindle. I was like,
yeah, easy.
Oh, you could do it yourself. Okay.
Yeah. I think the hard part with that is though, then they can't leave comments. Yeah. Because that's why I ended up not reading Midnights on my Kindle. Because I'd be like, oh, Sarah, on this page, and you're like, the pages aren't the same. And I'm like, fuck. Yeah. So I just ended up going. Yeah. So I just ended up going back to computer. So I just don't think you should do that for Nightshade.
No. That's why I asked. I was like, is there another platform that I don't know about besides Google Docs that makes it easier for everyone? Because this is just where I'm writing it.
No, just,
you know what? We're going to just stick to the same old stupid ass thing, and I'm going to put it in Google Docs.
Yeah, and if you're going to complain about it, then don't ask to be an ARC or a beta or alpha or beta reader.
Yeah. So that's fine.
Ew. That genuinely fucking bothers me.
Well, you know what? The good news is the book came out and it's doing great.
Yeah, it's doing great.
We're still on the road to New York Times bestseller. I'm chilling.
Someone is literally going to watch the thing and be like, Ani's so mean. Yeah. I actually don't think I'm very mean. I think I'm opinionated and I have no problem expressing my opinions. And I think women who have no problem expressing an opinion are viewed as mean.
Yeah. Well, again, we can say based on like personality, I am a people pleaser. So yeah, when I first got that, I'm like, oh, cool. Well, if you want to read it, let me go out of my way. Let me re-download it. Let me do this. Let me do that. Let me help you. Blah, 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 blah. And like, although it wasn't like the worst thing, like, am I going to do that for anyone else? No.
See, I wouldn't do that at all.
Yeah, I know.
I'm sorry that this was such a fucking inconvenience for you and that you took a spot that someone else really wanted. That I think is what bugs me, to be like, hey, so it's not 100% convenient for me, so I'm just like not gonna read it. Okay, well, you took someone else's spot.
Yeah.
Like, only so many people are allowed to do this, and because you're being a little baby back bitch about it, you don't want to read it? Mark the fucking document. Text yourself and say, you ended here. That's what I did.
Well, and then you can get on and search for that word and, brings you right there.
So I'm such an annoyed ass bitch, though.
You know what? That's okay.
Anyway,
here's the thing, like, I didn't know any better. I'm like, I don't know how else to do this. But like now, third book in, I'm like, you can read it or you don't.
This is how it's gonna be. All I ask is for your feedback. You have the option to like know it early. And I'm gonna say this, like, I love knowing shit early. Like, your balls.
I don't care what it is. Let me know.
I want to know everything. I'm such a nosy ass bitch. Like, I'm just being completely honest. And it's so like, and now like even with you, you're about probably a little over halfway through writing Nightshade. I'm like, okay, but what's happening with this person? What about this person? What I have played the what about game with you for the whole story.
Okay, but honestly, that's my favorite part because there are even things in Midnights that I put in there that I'm like, well, they did this with this intention. And I'm like, I don't even know if that intention is going to be uncovered ever. But in my mind, because when we were recording, and I'm like, well, Rachel says it like this because of this. And I mean, certain things that will obviously come to light, but there are certain things that I'm like, I had people say something in a very specific way with a certain intention in mind that might not ever be revealed ever. So your what if games are fun.
Do you know what that low key reminds me of? In Harry Potter, whenever they started filming, Snape, Alan Rickman, he was the only person that actually knew how his character was going to end, because all the books weren't out yet. J.K. Rowling pulled. No, all the books weren't written yet. So it all just lived inside of Jo's mind. So she took Alan Rickman to the side. She took Snape to the side and was basically like, I need you to know exactly who your character is, his backstory, why he's doing what he's doing, because this will change how you act it. The directors didn't even know what was going to happen with Snape. So then they would tell Alan Rickman, they're like, hey, say it more this way. And he's like, I can't. And they're like, why? He's like, I can't tell you, but I'm letting you know I just can't. Sorry, no. He was the only fucking person that knew. Which I love him. I love Harry Potter. I love J.K. Rowling. I know it's like a controversial topic. I don't care. I love her. She's amazing.
Don't care. Yeah.
I don't care. Whatever, leave me alone.
And I mean, like, that's what I do with characters, because I'm like, okay, you have to say it. And especially when we were doing an audiobook, I'm all, she wouldn't say it like that because of what she knows. So even though nobody knows that, like, she can't say it that way.
It might come out later, though, and that's important information for a later time.
Yeah.
So now going through, because it's going to be a foursome. It's going to be 4 books. I know why it's going to be 4 books, but I don't want to say it. So, because that's too much of like a spoiler, I'm going to try to keep this as spoiler free as possible.
Okay, I'm ready.
But yeah, so I feel like I'll just ask the questions. Okay, so like when you're planning this out, like how far in advance are you planning it out? Are you planning it like chapter by chapter, section by section, a full book at a time? Do you always have like a general idea where things are going?
I will start from right now and then work backwards, but I will say I have the series as a whole plotted out. And then as far as Nightshade goes, I'm like, okay, if this is the overall tent, where do I want Nightshade to end? how much do I want to be unraveled here versus, and then I have to start to think like, how much of it is going to be an egg? How much of it is going to be hinted at? How much of it is going to be revealed? Because even like the bigger picture of Cain, I'm going to try to be so fucking careful here, but like the bigger picture of Cain, I'm like, okay, well, I need to sprinkle it in, but how much of his story am I going to give to leave people to like start to clue it in, or for them to like, or are they going to be like, well, this is fucking stupid, I don't understand. There's a very, very fine line between, ooh, I think I know where this is going, or is this just useless information?
Ooh, yes. I actually am going to do one spoiler for Midnights
No.
because the book is already out. If you haven't read it, you're crazy.
Yeah.
If you don't want to hear the spoiler, fast forward probably like 1 minute. I am shocked by the amount of people that have I knew you know where this is going. I know it. They're like, so Sarah, so who's the king? You mean when Cam looked at Cain and said, my Lord?
You mean when Cam looked at Cain, knelt onto the floor, and said, my Lord?
What do you, the amount of people that are like, so who's the king? Oh, the fuck do you, y'all never learn about context clues. What the fuck do you mean, who is the king? Like that? And I feel like I didn't really think much about it until you and I were at that fucking book signing in San Diego.
And someone said like,
it? She's like, oh, I'm just trying to figure out who the king is. And you literally go, you snapped your head and you go, because you were writing, and you go, did you finish Midnights? And she's like, yeah. And you go, okay. And I was like,
because I don't know how to nicely answer that question. Like, I don't want to be like,
oop, you might want to go read that last chapter. You missed it, baby. We already said.
No, you might want to read the very last line of the entire book.
But now they need more context clues. So that to me was just very like, huh.
Yeah. It's fascinating. Yeah.
Interesting. And I can always just like feel my voice going higher and higher, being like, you didn't, interesting. You know what? Okay. I don't know. So, okay. So you have the whole series planned out. Now that you have like 1.5 books done about, do you find it easier to like work backwards and say like, if this is the ending point for 4, this is the ending for 3, this is the ending for 2, and then keep that way with each character? Or is it still easier forward to back or front?
It's
beginning 10.
A little of both. I would say it's easier to go forward because, like I've said multiple times, I don't know if I want 3 or 4. I'm not going to do the whole, and this is just speculation, but I'm not going to do the whole Onyx Storm thing where everyone thinks it's filler. Like, if my book is close to the end at 3, it's just going to be a longer book. I'm not going to drag it out just for the plot. Like,
dude, that's literally why I fucking refuse to read Fourth Wing. Fourth Wing.
Yeah, Fourth Wing.
I just, because everyone's like, wow, Fourth Wing. Wow, book 2. Boo, book 3. And I'm like, ooh, that's brutal. That hurts a little.
So, in a way, like, I have my overall tent. And then book 2, this is what I did with book 1. I had an idea, I just wrote, and I was like, oh, I want this to happen. Or if I'd have another idea, I'd toss it in. And then I wouldn't write till I had another idea. And then I would literally just kind of word vomit until I had no more vomit left. And then I finally, like, I was getting to the point where it was like 400 or 500 pages on a Google Doc. And I was just like, I'm going to have to either end this or I'm going to have to go back and figure out how to end it. And then when I wrote that last line in the last scene, I was like, I literally cried. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's done. Like,
I have a series.
I didn't know where to end it or how to end it. With book 2, I'm like, okay, I can't do that because that was very stressful and it made the book very long. And then I had to go back through and take out scenes and whatever. So I have like a beginning, middle, and end for Nightshade. And now I'm just trying to like fill it in. And I know there's a handful of moments that I want to have happen and all of the Easter eggs that are in my mind that like I also have from book 1 that are highlighted and whatever. And so I have to make sure I incorporate and add those while building on top of the plot we discussed and then just literally filling in the blanks from like beginning, middle, end.
I love that. And you know what? What I love also about like Easter eggs, I think they're so fun because they can be as big or as little as you want. Like I'm going to say one because once again, you know me, you know I am not done with Throne of Glass. I'm going to add that one in. Like, I got it. It's going to be fine. But one of the things that I swear is an Easter egg, and I'm either really, really right or really, really wrong. So inside of Throne of Glass, they talk about the Vogs and like the silence, da 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 da. And the only time that another character has had like a similar thing, because she literally said like, oh, every time Maven comes, or they say, or not Maven, sorry, every time Maeve comes, it's like everyone goes quiet and this and that. And I was like, how odd. So I'm like, either she made a mistake and she accidentally described two characters completely the same. But one thing I've been warned about when it comes to Throne of Glass is nothing is an accident. So now I'm convinced that Maeve is a Vogue. Once again, and really right or really wrong.
Here's the thing. No one can talk me out of this. Aside from Harry Potter, Throne of Glass is the best series I've ever read. So,
period.
In my, like, I love her writing. I love her story. I love her book. So, like, going into writing mine, I had that in mind. I'm like, I am literally not going to write anything that doesn't matter. So, like, although some feedback I got was that, like, oh, it just feels like certain scenes drag a little bit more. It could have gone faster. I'm like, no, because that's relevant. It might, I could have probably done it faster or whatever. I don't know. I don't care. But, like, I did not put anything in there. I didn't mention certain things for no reason.
Do you know what this also reminds me of? Going back to Harry Potter, the 5th book, The Order of the Phoenix. When people, it's the longest book, shortest movie. People are like, it's too long, it's boring. I'm like, okay, but it sets up literally everything. That's where you find out about the prophecy, and that's where you learn more about Nagini, and that's where you learn more about Neville's parents, and like everything that Harry is going through and why he's feeling that way. Because I feel like if you take out a lot of that angst that he was feeling, right? And then all of it, because that angst is what was kind of pulling those relationships apart a little bit. But then we had Umbridge, and she was the fucking worst. And now we have Dumbledore's army, and we have all these things. So much was happening that made it that by the time that Sirius was in trouble, he was like, fuck this shit, we're going. And that's why he didn't go to Dumbledore. Obviously, Dumbledore was gone because Umbridge was there. But like, all of these things compiled one on top of the other, all of them had to happen. Umbridge comes back later. The connection that Harry and Voldemort have comes back later. The prophecy is important. This is how Sirius dies. That's important because if Sirius doesn't die, then they don't get number 12 Grimmauld Place. Like, so many things happen. So like, I understand people's frustration sometimes when they're like, it could have been less. It's so slow. It's so blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, but in the long run,
it meant,
in the long run, all of it was necessary, you know?
Well, and I remember getting one comment back when I read my reviews, basically saying like that Raven was just like annoying and kept doing stupid things that she knew were stupid. And you have to understand that Midnight's is written right now, like 2025. She got a job, she got a phone. If somebody literally came to you and were like, hey, by the way, you just got transported to another world and you have magic and you're a witch, everybody's hunting and wanting to kill. Are you telling me that you all of a sudden would be like, you know what, I got powers, fuck everybody, I'm gonna go around fucking everybody? Like, no, you would be like, yeah, I don't know that I believe you because I've lived my entire life as a normal person.
No, I would literally be like, hey, mama, I want to believe you. I would love nothing more than someone to come to me and be like, Ani, you're a witch and you have magical powers and you need to da 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 da. I'm telling you, I swear to God, I would be the opposite of every FMC we read in every book, because I would be, if you tell me I need to become the queen of some shit and do some shit like fucking Aelin, okay, fine. Cerys, okay, fine. Raven, I obviously know what's happening there. Okay, fine. You need me to step into a place of power? I'm ready. I'm bringing my husband though and my dogs. Like they're not staying behind. But I would never be like.
But also, you would still be a little skeptical. You'd be like, yeah, I really want to believe this, but like, I'm just gonna figure it out by myself because I don't know you. I don't believe you. What? I just found out magic was real yesterday.
And that's my thing. Even as someone, me, who would love nothing more than for this to be real, because growing up, Harry Potter and Matilda, did you ever watch Matilda?
story of my life.
Jam. That's my motherfucker. I think I have like 2 copies up here somewhere. I love her. Like that. I wanted to be them. So if someone came to me and they're like, Ani, you're magical, I would want nothing more than to believe it. I would need a little bit of proof. But I'm telling you right now, unlike all these hoes, which I know they have trauma, blah, 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 Aelin, Cerys, Raven, all them, I'm in it. Let's go. What do you need from me? What do I got to learn? What do I got to do? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, bet.
And so, like, writing Raven, I'm like, okay, I want her, like, she has a personality, she has a backstory, she has a background, she is skeptical like any fucking, like, muggle mortal would be.
Yeah.
But also, she's like, yeah, let's fucking go. But at the same time, like, are we sure? Are we sure this is happening? And it's almost like certain things happen to her, especially in book 2, and it's like, not like she backtracks, but like she'll do something and then she'll be like, was that me? Like I don't know.
Yeah, so, because like all the lights that like blow up. If I was in an old ass fucking castle and every light blow out, I wouldn't be like, hey, that was me. I'd be like, y'all's electricity.
That was me on magic.
Y'all's electricity is crazy here. Y'all should get that taken care of.
Man, you guys need to pay your power bill.
You guys need some kind of, they make like, you know, something.
So to me, if I were to have written a character that's like, let's fucking go, I'm gonna take down all these people, like try to come at me, I'm a badass bitch, like to me, I wouldn't want to read that because that would be like, I'd be like, there's no fucking way that I would think that way.
No. Especially it being
so
set in modern day and age.
And I feel like too and I don't know if you do this, maybe we've talked about this, but actually I know you do this because I do this, but like when you read, you are the female character. So like if they think something that you don't align with, you're immediately like checked out of the book a little bit.
I am Maven. I am Cerys. I am Aelin.
Yes.
I am Raven. I am them and they are me. I have to say low key, especially Maven, because that dark, black souled ass bitch, like, you know how much
that dark bitch.
But like, yes, like I hear them and I'm like, oh, I am you, you are me. That's why I don't read books that don't have a happily ever after. I can't. It emotionally ruins me.
And and also I just remember getting the comment like, she keeps making stupid decisions, and I'm like, I bet you made a stupid ass decision yesterday.
Bitch, if I told you all the stupid decisions I made, we would be here for 45 years. Yes.
That's the thing. Like, you read something in a character that you don't vibe with, you're like, what a dumb like, I fucking wouldn't have done that. And immediately you're checked out.
Uh-huh. Well, I feel like sometimes even with like Throne of Glass, I'm so surprised when people are like, yeah, it was fine. And I'm like, first off, you have no fucking taste in books. Your taste is fucking heinous and horrible. I will never trust another thing you say again. If you are not going to sit in front of me and tell me that Throne of Glass is probably, as an adult, single-handedly the best series that I have ever read as an adult. Like that and Harry Potter to me, honestly, are side by side. And the only reason they're side by side is I grew up with Harry Potter, but I'm an adult as Throne of Glass. Throne of Glass is darker than Harry Potter. There's just different. They're same, but very, very different. But I'm like, if you're going to sit here and say that's a bad fucking book, then I just don't trust your judgment in books. I'm so sorry. I know it's also good as subjective, but you have bad taste.
Yeah. Yep.
Sorry.
So,
I've been yelled at for that before.
You know, when, you know what? You ain't gonna get yelled at by me.
But
yeah, that's why plotting it out, like, when I tell you I don't say anything for no reason, just as like filler, like in my opinion, I don't put filler in there because of the way how you saw my sticky note wall, and we had a 2-hour conversation about it. Like, you're like, well, what about this? And I'm like, oh, well, she says that because this, and this person said this to her, and that's why he reacted this way. Like, the whole thing is plotted out in here, I'm telling you.
Yes, and that's not fucking easy. Do you feel like taking the time to, because I know you said Midnights, you wrote it as you kind of like thought of it, ish. But do you feel like now having taken the time for Midnights and possibly book 2/3 to actually map it is now making it easier?
Yes. So, and I mean, like, I've probably said this in a lot of videos that, like, when I wrote Midnights, I originally wrote it as, like, a contemporary romance of, like, me and my husband and how we met. We met in a bar. He was like, I love you. And I was like, nah. Like, stalker vibes, totally, right? So, 10 chapters in, was like, you know what? I don't know why this isn't fantasy. I have to change everything. And I'm like, take it fantasy. I had an idea. Like, the things that I told you were like there a little bit, but I had never taken it further than that. I was just like, oh, this is what I want. I'm going to write this. Then going into book 2, I'm like, no, because characters have to make decisions and things have to happen in order for it to line up and make sense later. Like, for example, the spell that's put on Raven, like, I had to really fucking plan that out, because in order for certain things to be forgotten, the spell had to be a certain way. But if the spell didn't make sense, there would be holes in the theory to be like, well, why can't she remember this, but she can remember this? So, like, I literally had to make up a whole ass spell just for this tiny little part in the book.
Yeah. You know what? And I think, I know I keep pulling other books into it, but it's all relevant. Even like going back to Harry Potter, I wonder like how far, and hear me out, did J.K. Rowling plan this out? Because we think about it, Neville Longbottom, since the very first book, has been raised by his grandma. The reason he was raised by his grandma is because Bellatrix tortured his parents. Bellatrix tortured his parents because they had already defied Voldemort X amount of times. Then we pull up the prophecy. Like, those are things that fall in line from book 1 to book 7. All
that you don't even find out was even relevant.
But you're like, oh, a kid is being raised by his grandma. Who gives a fuck? But that's actually one of the most important things on why he's being raised by his grandma. You find out in book 5, and then you later learn about the prophecy. But when did they even learn? But like, it's one of those things like, as things unravel, you're like, wait. This started back in book 1. What do you mean that in book 4, the reason that Voldemort wanted Harry specifically is because he wanted his blood so then he could touch him, because he realized in book 1 that he couldn't be touched. That's not just something you can randomly be like, let's add this in. Like, that.
No.
What?
So honestly, I feel like I don't know, I just like to chalk this up to like, I am subconsciously smarter than I am out loud. Because honestly, the shit that I wrote in Midnights, I went back through and read it so that I could literally mark all of the things I needed to know. And then I had another idea where I was like, I need this to happen. And when I went back through and read Midnights, I was like, well, shit, I already planted that seed and I didn't even fucking know about it.
Bitch, that works. Hot darn.
So it's like, because when I tell you, like, the story has lived in my brain for a hot minute. And so honestly, although I kind of was like winging it with Midnights, I really wasn't, because I already had like a general tent. I just didn't like do exact details, like basically I had word vomited on you on the phone for 2 hours.
Yeah, no, I love that though. So, okay, one piece of advice. You have an author, they're listening, they're like, I have so many ideas, they're all over the place. What would be your like recommendation for them?
To find someone to like talk out loud to. Because, like, I have ideas all day, every day. I write them in my notes. I write them on sticky notes. Anywhere there is paper or my phone, there is something written. But honestly, going back and being like, where did I write that so I don't forget? It's like, once you have the story, if you just talk it out loud, and if you don't, like, sometimes I'll use chat, and I know this is such a fucking controversy, but like, I use chat to be like, hey, like, for example, the spell part. I was like, if this was a spell, does this make sense for this avenue, this avenue, this avenue? And it will literally be like, no. So then I have to go back, like, and even just like, I did it more with you than with chat, but it's like, I'm like, okay, well, I want this to happen. I want this to happen. And then just going back and forth for you to be like, well, what if this? What if this? And then I'm like, oh yeah, like, honestly, just to have somebody to like bounce questions off of. And if you don't have that, I actually have a notebook that I sit by my bed at night, and I'll just write. I'm like, do I want Kane to do this? And I will just like literally write the first thing, like intuitive writing, whatever. I will write the first thing, like I will write out my question and then I will answer it. And sometimes I'm like, I want it to go here, here, and here. And then I'm like, wait, do I like that? And I'm like, never mind, scratch everything. I want to go here instead. When I tell you I have actually written out my entire book before I type it, it might be psychotic. I don't know.
But I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And also to even like address your chat comment, I think there's a difference in going in chat and being like, chat, help me write a dark mafia romance. versus being like, I already have a fully fledged idea, plan, step 1, 2, 3, dot, 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 dot. I just need something or someone else to be like, yes, that makes sense. No, it doesn't. I don't think there's anything wrong with that because you're not using chat to write your book. You're using it to kind of look for holes.
Yeah. And I will say, like, I've gone through and been like, okay, here's the overall thing that I have. Here's what I've got going on. This is what I want to happen. This is the spell. Can you tell me the logistics? And this is how I know this because I did this literally just barely, but it was like, is there any way that this spell can mean this? And it said, well, based on what you've shared, this is what your spell covers. And I'm like, okay, but I need it to cover this. So how can I incorporate that and make that happen if I need it to forget this part but not this part? And how does that logistically make sense? So really it's just like, yeah, like it points out holes and it honestly just gets you thinking to be like, okay, you know what? I'm going to go here. And I will say the best part, and this is my advice to literally anyone doing anything, whether it's writing a book or not, like if you just start thinking of like scenarios or whatever, you're going to finally get to a conclusion because your brain naturally problem solves.
Yeah.
So it's like, you just have to continue asking questions, not like, so when people say, I don't understand writer's block because I've never experienced that. And if I do have writer's block, I'm like, okay, here's my problem. This is what I want. I will literally start asking myself questions and it will spark a different idea.
Love that.
And so then I'm like, okay, let me take it here. Okay, then I'll ask another question. And I don't know, maybe.
I love that though.
Maybe I just need to be in a mental hospital.
That you might need a grippy sock vacation one day, but at least today's not that day.
Today is not that day.
Thank you. I love that. Well, guys, as always, thank you so much for being here on another episode of Read It or Don't. Or don't, whatever. As always, if you have questions for us, if there's a book you want to read, like, please let us know. You can follow us on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, where you can watch our lovely faces while we sit and talk. But just know we are going to be jumping back and forth episodes talking about books that we've loved and read, and then also like parts of being an author. So if there's anything specific you ever want us to talk about, all you have to do is let us know. So thanks, guys. Bye.